object into an existing object like gluing, or if you have to make the thing airtight or something. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, the whole question of gluing means that question kind of goes away almost, right? Because the 3D printer is essentially gluing everything, right? So when people say like, oh, sometimes you have these things, they say this would have been impossible to make without a 3D printer. That's not really true, because you obviously can make this by gluing things together, and that's what the 3D printer is too. So I think we're going to see a lot of exciting stuff in materials actually. So let's see here, conductive materials obviously. Well, I don't have super much on here, but I'm not worried about that all that much. I think that in repairing things, we're going to have the right materials and they're going to be fused the right way. I don't necessarily see how the repaired object will be all that distinguishable from the original. Now certainly there's some materials that don't allow for that all that well, like materials you kind of would like to weld, but I wouldn't be surprised if we then ended up using the right process, right? If we ended up welding things together, for example. Right, you could also think of a welding machine, but maybe I misunderstood you.
Do you think we'll have to have multiple 3D printers?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the big question right now. What happens is the high-end models are able to do much more, and they're very expensive, and they're insanely hard to maintain. I think the rate of error is going up dramatically if you have more possibilities. So, my personal terrible vision of the future goes like this. That in the future people will have not just different machines for doing different things, they will also have different machines because they're all incompatible with each other. So they're going to have, oh yeah, the first 50 3D models we made, they print on this thing, and then we have those and so on. So when I said, I didn't make a topic on this for this talk, but what I said about maintenance is going to be a big thing. And I think in many ways what you alluded to are maintenance issues, right? When I was working at Microsoft, we had rooms, they were not that, maybe this size of a room here. And they were filled with PCs, and whenever the Windows operating system would go out, it has to be tested. Multiple shelves, right? Like 100 machines in there. It would have to be tested in every single machine in that room somehow. And I think we're going to have situations like this in the future, where before 3D model goes out, it will be tested on all these gazillion machines, all compatible with each other and so on. And yeah, if you start working on maintenance today, I think you're way ahead of the curve. So the market obviously will hit maintenance as a topic at some point.
Okay. Session is short and sorry to interrupt your questioning. Maybe you can ask question after the session. And also, he will be around until the end of the conference. So
absolutely.
I think we can catch him. Okay, then thank you all for your attending, and another big round of applause to our speaker today.
네, 키노트 강의는 이것으로 마쳤고 잠시 안내 말씀드리겠습니다. 본 장소에서 식사가 준비가 되는 관계로 다 퇴장을 하셔서 저희가 준비